Hello, this is Michael, atheist and alcoholic, attempting 90 AA meetings in 90 days. Nothing discussed in these videos will ever undermine the anonymity of AA. So today was day 29, and back to the live meetings, for which I am grateful. They are superior on multiple fronts. I personally, it's a lot easier for me to stay focused. The online meetings, I try. I really do. I try. But even the example I gave you the other day, which is what I was doing, is folding laundry. It's not that it's that distracting, and I am paying attention, but it's 100% not the same as when you have to look in somebody's face and they can tell if you're paying attention or not. So again, if I kept the camera on the entire time during the online meetings, that may help. I still think the live ones will be better, and I'm sure that moving forward, logistics will necessitate another online meeting somewhere, but I'm going to do the live ones as much as possible as I finish out these 90 days. So, topic of the day was on the war of addiction, I guess to summarize it. Gentleman brought up a quote leading into World War II. A congresswoman said, and she was opposed to us entering the war. I don't know that we shouldn't have gotten involved in World War II, but I see your point that winning a war is like winning an earthquake. Um, and that was certainly true for my battles in my addiction. And I almost said when I shared that I fought that fucker to the bitter end, but that's 100% not true because there is no end. There's no bottom until you finally drink yourself to death. And that's where I was heading. Um, I still had a little ways to go, as bad as it was. But yeah, it's not over. There's no rock bottom until you're finally you've drank yourself to death. But man, I was stubborn, and just the tenacity of, and I had no delusions of I could return to normal drink or any desire. There was no delusions nor desire to be a normal drinker. I was an alcoholic. I knew that. I owned that. It was part of my identity openly. Even when I was daily drinking, that's just part of what I did and who I was. But I managed my life around it. And there was no inclination to just have a couple of drinks. That didn't make any sense to me. I wanted to get blackout drunk good and proper until the blackout drunk escalated to multiple day benders, and then that was the goal. But there was never a thought that I was going to move back. I knew what I was doing, and I just worked really hard, fought to arrange every circumstance around it so that I could get away with it. Like at the end, I knew I was going on a couple of day bender, so I would only do it if I knew that I had at least a couple of days off work and not committed to anything, so that if anything did come in, hopefully I had the wherewithal to at least refuse the work, say, no, I'm not available. Sometimes I didn't. It was just radio silence. I went rogue. But I wasn't committed. I hadn't agreed to anything. They were a little surprised I didn't at least say, no, thank you, I can't. But work was taken care of where I didn't have any obligations. A lot of times, there'll be instances where if family was out of town, I'm going to jump on that opportunity. Not every time, but often if I'm going to go on a multiple day bender, that's when it was. During school, I made sure it was once a week during school, so I had Whiskey Tuesdays. But like I worked my ass off to make sure like everything that I needed to get done was done so that I could be fucking useless on Wednesday. Yeah, I had no intention of stopping. Like I got to the point where I thought if it was every couple months or longer, usually longer, if it was every year to 2 years, that I just went completely off the rails. Fuck it. what does it matter? I wasn't, I fought so hard to make sure it didn't interfere with other things other than the trust that would fucking be destroyed if I got caught. I did, like, it was almost like I rationalized it. What's the fucking harm? And the harm was finally going to be that if I continued, the vendors would continue to escalate. One day my family was going to find me dead, and that was the fucking harm. And that was made clear during the withdrawal last time. It was so bad, and I know it can get worse. I frequent a Reddit sub called Crippling Alcoholism, and I've read in great detail how much worse it can get. But that was enough for me. So that's when I ended my battle, stopped fighting, I surrendered. Look, it's working. So that's all I have for today. Hopefully, I have time to go through the big book and start making the bullet points of the arguments as I see them and just summarize them. I don't think it's necessary to go through a paragraph. There's only like a page left anyway, and I'll just finish up by summarizing the arguments as I see them and then move forward. So that's all I have for today. Thank you guys very much, and I'll see you here again tomorrow.